to my brother there. We are going to start issuing gifts now, so people can come back on time.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr.
You were here too, my leader. I mean, one of the first ones. You just came and said, thank you.
Can we, good afternoon. Can we sing the theme song again? First stanza. The theme song, please. Please, could you stand up and sing? Thank you. Please sit down. So, are you staying? Okay. Thank you for coming back. Now it is a time for launching of the prevention campaign, Adventist AIDS International Ministry. So I'll request Dr. Sikiwa to come and share what she has, the plan she has at the campaign.
May I request all those who are wearing the wedding garments to come and sit in the front row. Okay, good afternoon. We are coming close to the end of our meeting. We have just one more day. But if you are very observant, you'll have noted that today, this afternoon, it was about who? Who was it about this afternoon? It was about youth. You notice that? And why are we having the youth? Did you see the statistics that we started with? What are they saying? Our youth are in trouble, right? Yes. And according to their leader, he's got all the adjectives for bad. It's bad, bad, bad. Me who has got poor vocabulary, I just have bad. But they have come up with a suggestion, all of them. And we saw it also from the statistics that are showing to say, what is rising? Infection. Yes, the infected are there. Yes, they are living with the virus. Yes, they are taking medication. But that's not where the hope of the human race is. The hope of the human race is in what? Prevention. Prevention, prevention, prevention. So this afternoon, we are going to be talking a little bit about where are we trying to go as AIM. But as we are going there, I want us just to take a small trip. We have come Ebenezer. You remember that logo, right? And many of us, the AIM logo that we know is this one. Many people. And you saw when Dr. Laguna was presenting, which logo did he have? He had this other one. And I saw a few people asking themselves that, AIM is rich. This is being rich when you have got so many logos going around. So, we then came up with the point that no, we might have to rebrand ourselves because we are starting to get too many identities. We need to come up with an identity, but there is a reason for that. Why must we do that? What did Jesus say? No one pours new wine into what? Into old wine skins. What happens if you do? The wine will burst the skins, right? And you lose both the wine and the wine skins. So if we are going to go on this new direction where we want to embrace all church members, we need new wineskins. Because our new wine is saying, we are going to look after those people who are living with HIV. We are going to do our care and support, but we are going to involve the whole church because we must protect our youth. We are going to prevent. I hope you heard all the presentations that came. You heard ADRA, right? You heard about the things that we are already having in the church that we are perhaps not utilizing. And you have heard the pledge that the youth ministry has already taken. They are saying, we are here. We have a problem, and we believe you departments, you can come. And they have already pledged to join with AIM. But AIM cannot go and get the youth into this place in these old wineskins. Because when they are going to come in, if they come and join AIM and start getting active, what are we going to say as church members? They have AIDS, right? Because we have created that stigma ourselves to say our programs are just for people who have got HIV. Therefore, why must we rebrand? We must rebrand to remove the stigma on the AIM as a ministry for people who have HIV. Is that not true? When you just say AIM in the church, some people don't even want. I, for one, have been booed off a pulpit because I was talking AIM. They told me, go to that tree and sit under there with people who are like you. Because in church, if you talk about HIV and you are advocating, you must be having HIV. Why else are you talking about it? Do you understand that? We need to remove that stigma. We need to bring a visual attraction that can draw the young people and the children to want to listen to AIM. Young people and children, they are attracted to beautiful things, right? You come and bring something that is not attractive, that doesn't say anything to them, they're not going to listen. We have good programs. All those good programs, they need a nice jacket for them to absorb the young people. We need to have AIM to be seen as part of the church family branding. Did you see the other brand that we had? There are other people who were saying, is this even Adventist? Now, it was a good logo. It had a lot of message. It did a lot of good. But there were still people who were not seeing it. And somebody, I think Adra, talked earlier about how all of us are trying to have a strong brand. But if we are going to come closer to having a brand that benefits all of us, the closer our branding is, the more we'll be identified together. But if each one of us has got a brand that's so far apart, it's hard for people, for Adventists, to notice it as an Adventist brand. And that's another reason for us to be rebranding. And then the last one is people who have been trying to create material where they are, when they try to print, they talk about the expenses of printing. Because the more colors you have, the more designs you have, the more difficult it is to keep the brand, right? A brand that's very, very complicated is very hard for you to reproduce. So after 3 or 4 countries, you find out that this one has got the cross leaning this way and the other one is not really in the shadow because there's too many characters inside. So if you are going to make a brand, it's got to be small and clean. The cleaner it is, the easier it is for people. Therefore, we would like to bring to you the new AIM look that looks much closer to your health ministries. You are not the health ministries. Do you see that? This is the new AIM brand. And the AIM look, we have it first because AIM is known by the red ribbon all around. That's the thought that came to us. It's known by the red ribbon. But as Adventists, we are known by what? The 3 flames. Now you see the 3 flames, and there's a reason why our ribbon is on top and not like most others you see is under. This one is on top because it is following the flame. You see that if you put them side by side with the health ministries, you see it is part of that. So it is a ribbon that's born out of that head, that same flame. Where did you see that flame again? It's the flame that is in the church logo, right? Yes. And you've been seeing, you see it there. That is the flame that we have. Now you see when you have these things together, like you are seeing there, that's why we've been having that the whole time, for it to be imprinted in your mind, the new AIM logo. Do you see it? That is the thing, and it comes with Adventist AIDS Ministries. There is the complete one. So it is the ribbon, and you have AIM, and the definition of what AIM is, Adventist AIDS International Ministries. Are we seeing that? So we are asking for us to start recognizing our logo. We have a lot of work to do as the AIM office. All the material that Alex or Dr. Laguno talked about earlier is still very relevant, or some of it may need to be upgraded with new information, but by and large, still very relevant. But we are going to be now getting into the big exercise of rebranding it so that it's known as our material. If our logo is not strong enough and it is divorcing itself away from the church, people can print things that are not ours and call them ours. You understand? The church has got a brand manual, and you'll hear a little bit more about that tomorrow. Among other things is those 7 pillars. I'm sure that the young men can explain to you. Now, because we are dealing with young people, we have introduced exciting colors. Did you see your bands here? So all those exciting colors that you have, we can use in AIM. Did you see look at how our vision looks? We can use those kinds of colors as long as we are keeping AIM clear as it is there, because these colors are actually in the General Conference brand manual. They are all the colors that the church allows. And it's important for our young people to see exciting colors. I don't know, those of you who are observant, you would have seen that all the slides of all the presenters were AIM slides. But you may not even have noted them that very different from youth ministry, because they are all Adventist slides, and what happens with them is the difference in there and the other logo that we have. So ladies and gentlemen, I give you the AIM logo. Those are our letterheads. When we prevent with letter, yes. You can actually, as soon as you get to see the sampling of how it is, it's very easy for you to create, because it's very similar to General Conference. This is exactly like our General Conference, our division, all divisions that you have. The difference is we are using the 7th band is the red one. That's what we are doing, and then we have the logo up there. So, that is the new wine skin. What are we going to pour inside this wine? I'm going to get the young people to talk about the wine for today that we are putting in. And we have said that as AIM, we are bringing in new programs to increase our suite of programs. And the first one that we have gone for, we have listened to our young people. You heard them crying. They say they need help. So we have listened to them, and the very first thing that we are putting in is prevention. So we are going to be talking now, and I'm going to give to the young people. Are you guys around to come and tell us about the prevention campaign that they have got in mind for us to start working with for all these programs that we are talking about? If it is an AIM program and it's about HIV prevention, we are going to be having this. And at this point in time, come, I'm going to hand over to the young men there, and I'm going to ask our leaders on this side to come and please stand and face the people. Those who are wearing those T-shirts, please start and come. Are you going to use this? You want to use the
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. There was a song that was supposed to play, a song that, oh, there we go, here. So that will be the song that we have picked for the campaign that's coming. And the reason why I'm here is to give leadership homework, an assignment to go home with from this advisory. You may kindly sit as I continue my presentation. It's been a lovely journey. How I met Dr. Siko and how we came up with this. And what I'm presenting to you also about, it's an addition to the rebrand. Because when she mentioned she was rebranding, the question was, then what's next? And it was like, no, we need to come up with something that will carry on the AIM brand, will carry on the conversation for the next few months as we collaborate and catch up with other ministries that are there. And from this, I can tell you, I see hope. I see hope for collaboration within ministries. I see hope for all of us to have one voice, that we can all say we are in marriage together as Seventh-day Adventist programs. Whenever you feel unloved, unimportant, or insecure, remember to whom we belong. Who am I? This is a campaign that we are kickstarting today, and it's still new. We're going to need all your contributions so that it can really make impact in our own different divisions. But we are going with Who Am I? This is a campaign empowering youth to take control of their sexual health. It's a campaign dedicated to raising awareness about HIV/AIDS among youth, the conversations in the church and the world at large. Through creative and engaging initiatives, we aim to empower individuals to take control of their sexual and reproductive health. Our goals really, it starts here. Know your status. Because if we can all know our status, we will progress better. The programs we'll come up with, the resources we have, we will use them resourcefully. And then the second objective is to empower youth through this awareness, understanding the risks, the choices, and the right empowers individuals to make informed decisions about their sexual health. And our visual identity, it's going to be very small and round, something that can fit in the pocket. As you can see, those are our first sample t-shirt of how they might look like. And the campaign logo, it features the cross symbol and the campaign title, Who Am I? The vibrant colors that we're going to use in this campaign so that it can really attract our target audience. And we have this cool idea that's going to come up with this. Who am I? The images we want to see as we go on social media is the use of a mirror. Digital and social media. What we want to do with the mirror is to have a mirror that maybe if we can, it can rove around even Africa or all these places where people can take reflections of them. But also, how we want to engage this with social media is for creative use of this mirror, what kind of pictures you can use, what kind of messages you can use with the picture you take. So we have also even interesting hashtags that you guys can also contribute to. Which hashtags could work for us? Hashtags like Know Your Status, I on AIDS, Who Am I, and What is Your AIM? It's some of the hashtags we could possibly have. And one of the things, because our campaign is going to be more social media based, though we'll be on the website, we are so much going to encourage even you guys here to allow or let people know about the AIM social media or the Facebook page. It has been existing before, and right now it has 1,100K likes and followers. We would like you to help us, share with us so that we increase our its followers, because we are trying to have our Who Am I campaign based here. And also, in terms of the new refreshed images of AIM, there's a website that is going to be, that's work on progress, that will try to update with the new information, that will try to also link it up with other ministries that are there, so that AIM can, be part of the whole thing. Please bear with us. It's a new website, we're improving it. Even all the presentation that just got presented here, we'll later download them on the website. So even if you want to be a content for AIM, please see Dr. Sikwa, so that we could have also your contribution on the Who Am I or AIM campaign. We talked about a lot of things, education resources. If possible, and maybe if we can have budget, it would be nice to have a Who Am I or AIM app, because that's the language nowadays we're talking. It will be easy for the youth to access. And it's one of the apps that will help even in terms of the education about AIDS and all the resources where you can find them. Through an app, I think we can go a long way. Education program that we're thinking, we will be having maybe our trained ambassadors talking about Youth Alive, but we can collaborate so that they add on their portfolio something to talk about AIDS as they do the program. I think that something that can be very cool. We will also have influencer partnership in this. I've seen Pastor PK, you're so very good with the youth, and I think in good time we'll give you a call if you could be the ambassador for this, because it's very important to have influential pastors and other ministry to amplify the campaign reach. Personal stories. We all have stories here, one way or the other. We will really like to get those stories to really keep the Who Am I campaign on the move. And one of the things Dr. liked is we can also even come up with chastity clubs in our churches, in our local churches. How can we really do that? It will be you guys helping us to make this possible. And really the key message is not your status. So the whole mirror thing as a reflection thing, or the whole mirror thing will be something that really talks more to our slogan, which says, behind the mirror lies your truth. And this is one of our daily or lifestyle, because every morning we get to look ourselves in the mirror as we prepare ourselves. So our slogan, behind the mirror lies your truth, is one of the slogan that we would like to go with this. And it has that underline that says, see our worth. And our worth comes from whenever you look in your mirror, it's you and your image. So that's kind of like where the our worth comes from. And we are God's children, and we're very worthy guys. So in conclusion, we're really looking for you guys to support this, add, subtract where need be. The Who Am I campaign leverages the youth culture mostly, creativity, church and community engaging to spark conversation about HIV and AIDS. By fostering self-awareness and responsibility, we empower young people to play a vital role in ending the HIV epidemic. As the song was saying, I am yours. It's one of the words we would like everybody to say once the campaign has reached. When we are asked, who are you? You should say, I am yours. In those few words, Galabucha.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to work with young people. I think the one thing that when We tested this on young people, by the way. A lot of adults are asking, why is the I not the I? And that is because the young people are saying they want it catchy. They want it like that. We've tested it with a group of young people from different countries. We tested many logos and different things that we did with them. But then, the critical thing that brought us to this point is, there is no parent who has ever been present when their child gets sexually engaged. No parent. And why is that? Because the very act of sexual contact is a private matter. And when we are talking about HIV and STIs, the issue of it is the issue of conscience. You've heard the programs of the Youth Alive, you've heard the programs of ADRA that is about resilience. The resilience is to say no when everybody else is saying yes. But what is going to make you say no? What's going to make you walk away? Be it from drugs, be it from sexual contact, what will make you walk away is knowing who you are. If you know who you are, and you know whose you are, and you know who is watching you, whose eye is on you, then you will turn away. Hence the campaign, Who Am I? To encapsulate all those sentiments. Who am I as an individual? Whose am I? Whose eye is watching me? Who am I? And you are being watched by the man on the cross. And you need to understand your worth, the man in the mirror. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Who am I? Can I have the health ministries leaders to come and take their charge in the name of T-shirts? We are giving you that as a sample of what you can do. The rest of these things you'll find on the website. What you have seen there are screens from the website. The Facebook page is live. You get to Facebook now, you find all these things, including that we are streaming live. So all these things are going to be, as Papu said, the young people are on social media. And we are trying to move this campaign onto the social media platform. On social media, we are on one level. You are not in WAD. You are not in ECD. We are together. We are right in one space, the phone that you are holding at that point. So let us pull together and see if we can make a difference. If by the time we come to the end of the campaign, we may not have saved a few young people from the vices of this world. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Can we give them another clap round? Clap. Thank you. Thank you very much. Now we'll go to the practical projects. So we want to have the best practices. So we have selected from 3 countries, one from WAD, one from ECD, and one from SID. So I will invite... We'll start from what? Cameroon? Yeah? Okay. Next. Let me start from what? Cameroon? Mr.
Yeah, as you are coming, please come and put the slides so that because there are questions here, we can be taking them just to save time as you are coming. There is a question here. In my country, DRC, the colors chosen are considered for LGBTQ. Why the choice of these colors? In our opinion, the single color would be welcome. Okay, those colors there, we had put them in there because those are the color brand that the General Conference allows any of those colors. It is not for you to go and have mixed colors. It is for you to know the brand or the range of colors you may use. We put all these colors here to say you are not going to stick with one color. Be colorful. whatever color is acceptable in your country, that's the one that you are going to have. When we were coming here, we didn't know whose color is what, so we have put all of them and tried to put them in a way that they can work. Are we together? So if you are in a place where you can mix the two of them, mix the two. If you can mix all 10 of them, mix 10. If you are just going to stick with one, stick with one. You can see the t-shirts are sticking with one. So it's not bound in the colors. Are they here already? Okay, they are coming. Is HIV only humanly and is HIV only humanly and biologically transmitted, or the devil, Satan, can also directly give it to people? Are there theologians to help me answer? My leaders, did you hear the question? Did you hear the question? I need leaders here. Is HIV only humanly or biologically transmitted? Or can the devil, Satan, directly give it to people? I need theologians to help me with this one. Scientifically, I don't know enough about that. I'm looking at you, my theologians. You want to answer? Okay, they're here. Yeah. Let me give you to answer, okay? Our 2 minutes of pay time.
I can't answer when you're not listening. I don't know if I can answer when you are listening.
Can Meva come over, please, from Cameroon for your presentation?
I think every question needs to be taken very seriously, because a question comes from what someone is thinking in their hearts. When I say thinking, it's a thought process which is then revealed in a question which we should take seriously. And we are living in a time, and ever since the fall, this has been an issue of the work that the devil wishes to do. As I thought about this question when I saw it, I began to think of the issues of the great controversy. And what was also very important that came to mind almost immediately was the experience of Job. When the devil was working on Job's case, God had to give him permission to touch his body. If the devil could just place a virus that would normally just be transmitted by the ways that we know it is transmitted, and anyway, the fact that such viruses exist which cause the damage they do is because of the great controversy, because of the fall, because of the devil's promise that we surely would not die, but we will die. So I think I'm comfortable looking at the character of God, that he would not allow that to take place. What is taking place by our choices, whether it be through sexual promiscuity, whether it be through swapping needles, whether it be heterosexual or homosexual activities. That's the way the virus gets in, through blood transfusions in the old days, contaminated needles. I think we also need to, and my mind also went a little further than that, and that is, we joke sometimes when we do something wrong and say, well, especially when we were kids, the devil made me do it. Well, we're told as well, both in the Bible and the spirit of prophecy, and she emphasizes it, that the devil cannot make us do anything we don't give permission. We have to give the ultimate permission. So I'm convinced that we need to understand that this process is a process like all the illnesses, whether they be infectious, and when we see that many of the diseases, in fact all of the diseases, result from the fallen state and the degenerative state in which we are, the human state, I'm confident that the devil does not have that license to be able to do that. But thinking specifically of Job, he had to get permission. And I don't believe that's what God does.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Dr. Landless.
But I want us to be respectful of every question that comes our way, and to entertain them graciously and kindly.
Thank you. Now is the time to share the best practices of AAIM projects or programs in ECD, SID, and WAD. I will start with Mr. Mevaka Landry. He will be speaking in English. His reports are in English. So give him 10 minutes, and then okay, and 10 minutes.
Okay, thank you. In Cameroon, we have a project there in the eastern part of our country, especially at Betwa. The basic idea of our project work is that one shouldn't be left behind by the church. Vulnerable people like orphans, widows, and people with disabilities, chronic disease such as HIV, must be supervised by the whole society. So our activities are organized by women. Last year, there were 10 women from many churches, and those women are mainly unemployed. Some are household and widows, but men also are given access to those activities. December last year, we went to visit Baka's people to record some orphans there. You can see there near Betwa. Baka's people are pygmies. We usually share materials as shelters and school materials to those orphans that we have. They are 45 now this year. You can see school materials there. We also share foods occasionally during feast periods. We gather those orphans on Sundays, once a week, to study, to educate them on HIV and other topics. Each end of year, we are taxing those children and even the whole churches. Last year we did it, and up to 100 were assessed, up to about 100. 2 people were positive. We make home visits for prayers for orphans and widows also. we shared Bibles once with the help of our partners from Belgium. One of our kids is now a deacon. One of our orphans were promoted a deacon in the church. And the same boy living with an handicap got a gold medal during the national last school games in Garwa. Our support group works with the NGOs also and government. They usually call us to go and show what we can do for the community. And with the help of ADRA and AAIM, we are now holding a hall for meetings and clean water, as you can see. We have activities generating income like agriculture, sowing, buy and selling. We have a farm there. And we have 5 challenges to recruit more orphans and more members for work, to convince church leaders to accept AAIM as the most effective method of evangelism, to afford a vehicle for outreach activities, to finish the building of our hall so it can become a biblical church, to afford a new laptop and a micro projector for educative talks. God bless you.
Thank you very much. The second report comes from East Central Africa Division. I will request Dr. John Macharia, a retired pastor, to make his report. The best practices in ECD.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Fesaha, for this time. Good evening. It's evening. How are you? Okay, thank you very much. I'm here courtesy of Dr. Sikwa, who invited us here to come and share something we are doing, or we have been doing for many years, with a view of preventing, ours is preventing the spread of HIV and other addictions that we bring about this issue. So I'm here with my wife, Mary, who has been working with me for all the years. And so before I do anything, I would want her to say hello, Mary. Please stand and say hello. Without this lady, I'm done. Without this one. So this is the lady who has stood by my side, and she has tolerated me. She's tolerated me all these many years. 46 years now. She has tolerated this bad guy here. So we thank God for this. Now, this program that I'm going to talk about is about, you have seen that one, is Adventist Functional Substitute for Initiation Rites of Passage for boys and girls in Kenya. And this program is also, we are coupling it also with addictions, drug addiction and all these things. We are putting them together because these are the things that are affecting our youth in Kenya in a very serious way. So this one, the Adventist Functional Substitute, is that in my culture where I was socialized, is that when boys get to adolescence, around 13, 14 years there, they are taken through a rite of passage from childhood to become adults. It's a service that goes on there. And this one involves circumcision, circumcision of these boys. And then when these boys are healing, they're healing that wound, then that's where a lot of things are taught, the cultural things, being warriors and going fighting. That's where they are taught all manner of things about the culture. And that's where they get in trouble, because the people who are socializing them are not Christians, they're not Adventist. So they are left to be socialized by all manner of people. And it is during that time that these young people are introduced to so many vices. They're introduced to drinking, to smoking, and all these things. And one of the worst one that would now really be a concern to HIV is that they are told, now, you see that thing now, as you see the wound when it's healing, there are those spots, the black spots, when the wound is healing. They are told, you must clean it up. You must clean it up so that you become a real man. Cleaning it, it's not with water. It's not going to have a bath. It's not going to take a bath. It is that he has to get a woman. Soon after that, they are now 1 month or 2 months after, he has to look for somebody, somewhere. It doesn't matter who, and do it. That's how it is. It's that bad. So when I looked at all these things, I said, no, this one shouldn't happen. Our Adventist boys and girls, when they reach that age, they go to all these cultural things, and we lose our boys. Some very good pathfinder, after this process, the boy doesn't want to go to church anymore. He doesn't want to go to church. He's become somebody else. It is so bad that when these young people are healing in that room, it is in your house, but that room, you are barred. You can't go to that room. The father, the mother, nobody can enter into that room. It's barred. It is in your house. That is how bondage, how enslaving culture can be. It is in your house, but you cannot get into that room during that time. So who are going there? The bigger boys who had gone before, they are the ones going to that room. One of them is supposed to be the one taking the food from the kitchen to this room where the boys are. All of them are eating in your house. The mother is cooking. These boys are just flowing in and out your house. And the mother is just cooking, washing dishes. The whole day, she doesn't go to work. And then what is she getting instead? The son is taken from them. That's how bad it is. So when I observed that, I said, no, something to be done about this. So I came up with this program in 2007. I started this program. And what I do, okay, bring those boys to me. Let the doctors do their minor operation. Then let me have these boys for 2 weeks. During those 2 weeks, I have made a program. I have even authored a manual. We have things to teach, HIV, AIDS, this is how you can get it, the drugs of addiction, all manner of things. This manual here has all these things. We have made this manual. And then after the 2 weeks, we make a celebration. And now you're a man, and all that. Dr. Pesaha is one of the facilitators. We have done this for many, many years. So that's what we are doing, and that's what I'm saying. The boys are left entirely to the influence of their peers, who introduce them to all manner of vices: drinking, smoking, doing drugs, premarital sex activities, rudeness. They become very rude, especially to the women. They are called, when they go back to school and it's called a boy by a madam teacher. I'm not a boy anymore, and they start fighting with the teachers because they become very rude. These boys become very rude. And also delinquency. They get out of school. Some don't go to school anymore because of that. So that is very bad what has been happening. So these vices negatively affect the boys' spiritual growth and expose them to physical, mental, social, and emotional health risks. They get into trouble during that time. So now, I also do it for the girls. There's a community here, many communities in Kenya, quite a number of communities still do the FGM to date, 21st century. And it's not just in the community there, but also in the church. Unfortunate thing in the church. Girls are, they are mutilated. You know. So I also have a program to say, no, don't touch the girls. Don't touch their bodies, touch their minds. Teach them values. Tell them what it is to be a woman. What are these changes? You know, talk to them about that. But don't touch them. Don't touch their bodies. So I also do that kind of a program. So let me just rush because of the time. The project has done so many things. We have done it now for 17 years. Last year was 17 years. Over 2,000 initiates have gone through our hands over the years. Over 2,000 of them. And we have a party. We throw a party where they are graduating. For the 2 weeks, we have a set of facilitators. I look for the best people in the vicinity. Doctors, Dr. Fesaha takes us through the celebrations. We have people, all of them professors. I get the best people around to come and be a model. As I stand before this initiative, they catch it. They say, yeah, I want to be like Professor so. So we introduce them to those kind of things. And these boys and girls, after the 2 weeks, we graduate them, make a big party, tell them now you are women, and you can move on now with your lives. They can go to high school and then continue. So that is what we have been doing, and I have a few pictures here. You can see some of this is the way we have uniforms for them, t-shirts and and caps, and they march. They march, and we have been getting some funding from AAIM to help some of those boys that can't make it. There are some boys who would want to go through the program, but they don't have money because they come and eat for 2 weeks. They are there. They are boarding someplace, so there's some expenses. Some of the boys cannot meet those expenses. So what we do, we look for people who can help us support some of them. And AIM has been working with us for this many years. And I'm so happy that Dr. Sikwa has come in and we were together in this program. So this, you see, those are girls in a certain school. They are graduating. Those are girls. This time round, this is the former governor of one of the counties where this is done. I don't want to mention people's counties here, but this is one of the former governor's wife. She was the one giving the certificates. We give them certificates as they graduate. We give them certificates. So there you are, and could be because of time. Let me share a small clip here, just a small clip here, a small clip here, because time is not with me. Let me share just a small clip of what happened last year, but one. This one was covered by our national TV. It was covered, and it's just a short one. Let me play this one. It was covered by our national TV in Kenya. All right, come here, help me, my son here. Yeah. Yeah, it has some sound. So this was covered by our national TV when we were graduating these boys. Okay. All right. So this we do every year during the long holidays. The long holidays that comes around November to December. We do it. And then using this manual, we have now given this manual to whoever would want to do it. And we have several people doing it in several areas. It's not just now me. We are now spreading the whole thing to whoever would want to do it using this manual. So that is where we are, and we thank God for what God is doing in our union, East Kenya Union Conference, where I have served until my retirement. I'm now on my retirement, and I'm enjoying doing this kind of ministry with these boys and girls. I also do run a rehabilitation center for those that are gone to drugs. I do run a rehabilitation center where we have been 9 years into it, and about 400 young people have been rehabilitated. They came there without their clothes, and now after 3 months, they get their clothes back and they go home. Are you able to do that? Please do that. Okay.
I pledge. They say the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a step.
These young ones are gathered at the Bomas of Kenya to begin a responsible journey into adulthood, having been equipped with nuggets of wisdom.
So the idea is using this moment to mentor them, give them values that are going to help them in their lives. That's the reason we have this alternative rite of passage as opposed to the traditional one, where young people would be in the house with some funny people giving them funny kind of teachings. Here we tell them, no smoking, no this thing.
Dr. John Masharia says the Turning Point Counseling Program is designed to provide the young ones with the courage needed to survive the immense pressure that comes with teenage.
And also we involve girls. We have some 3 girls who joined us. It's because we don't want the traditional one where boys are like enemies to girls and to women. No, we are saying, no, we are a community. So the mothers are here. We don't want to keep them away.
Masharia says parents have their work cut out for them during this long holiday season.
We've learned many things, especially how an ideal child should be. We should be generous, ready to learn, and all in all, ideal children make mistakes. If a person is not perfect, so you have to make some mistakes and learn through them.
Because as children, we can only do what we can be able to do as parents. But at the end of the day, they have choices to make. And that
All right. This young man who is making the speech, during those 2 weeks, we have elections for the leaders. We are training them to be leaders. So we choose the president of that cohort. We choose a president. They elect a president. And then the president is the one speaking on behalf of the others. And we have now, every year, we try to contextualize. We get a name for the age group and a slogan to go with that name, as it used to be during the traditional age groups. They used to have a name of an age group and a slogan. So we are doing contextualize. We are putting the culture, the good practices in culture, plus the Christianity, we marry them, so that we don't lose the culture completely. We don't go completely to the culture. We strike a balance. Now, as I finish it, on the 17th of August, please note this in your diary. If you have time, please come over to Nairobi. On the 17th of August, we'll be, just a moment, I'm finishing it. We'll be bringing these people together, all these age groups, the 2,000 of them, we'll be bringing them together for a homecoming. It will be on a Sabbath at one of the stadiums in Nairobi. We have already booked the stadium. We are planning. They will all come with their families. Some are married, by the way. Some are already married and they are family men. They will bring their children and their wives, and it will be a big crowd. We are expecting close to about 5,000 people on that day. So if you can come around Nairobi, visit with us, we'll be happy to have you. So may God bless you. Please, let's pray for these young people. We need to help these young people. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Macharia.
This manual is available just in case you want to.
I will invite Dr. Mwati Mwambazi, the Health Ministry Director of Northern Zambia Union, to make a report.
Good evening. Good evening. Thank you. My name is Mwate Mwambazi, Health Ministries Director from the Northern Zambia Union Conference. I think mine will be very short. We just like to present to you how we collaborated and partnered with John Snow, JSI from the USAID to run a robust AIM activity. So here's how it began. In the year 2016, there was a proposal from USAID for us to work together because they had a plan to go in the community. So they invited us on board. We looked at what they were offering, and it looked like it was really marrying very well with one of our AIM strategies. And hence we went into collaboration with them. At the beginning, there were 17 churches, and these 17 churches started offering HIV care to the communities surrounding the churches. And the criteria of picking which church, number one was those that didn't have closely available government clinics and densely populated, needy populations. An MOU was signed, and the church was supposed to bring on board space, security, water, and power. And JSI was going to bring on board the entire technical needs that the ART care needs to have. It was supposed to run for 5 years, and according to the agreement, at the end of 5 years, the project would come to an end, close, and whatever would be brought on board in the churches, the church premises, would remain and belong to the church, and they'll probably go away with their laptops because they have information in there. Now, what has happened? COVID came on board, and a lot of things changed. The duration changed. There was extension, and extension. So several things happened. So it only came to an end in the year 2023. So currently, we are in the closeout process. There's a 2-year closeout program, that is 2024 and 2025. By the end of 2025, JSI will have completely let go. Now, here's the thing. The plan was to end the project, but the need, as I'll show you the numbers, you realize that we can't just let go. The numbers and the amount of help that this project was offering to these communities became very crucial, that a few changes have come about. So from the 17 facilities that we are offering these services, we've trimmed down to 13 churches. So currently 13 churches within Northern Zambia Union Conference are still offering these services. Majority of them are going to have to continue, unfortunately. And what's this going to mean is that because as a church we don't have the technical know-how to bring on board the doctors, the clinic officers, the lab, and all the reagents for ART and HIV care, we are slowly getting to partner with GRZ. So currently all the 13 facilities have the Ministry of Health government personnel coming in and slowly replacing those that had been the functionality that was taken up by JSI. And we are most likely going to continue. When it will come to an end, honestly, I don't know, because we realize that a lot of clients preferred to come to the SDA church facilities than go to the normal Ministry of Health facility. I'll show you some numbers. This is just the Kitwe hub. I think in the last years, from the year 2016 to end of February 2024, I think in terms of HIV care, we have attended to almost 100,000 people within this community. What the numbers I'm showing you here are just for Kitwe hub, excluding some of the towns. I apologize, I didn't get back the information, though I'd requested for it. But these are some of the statistics. In the first 95, we are doing very well, probably about 73% being tested, and positivity rate is about 11%, okay? And linkages, that is, linkages is also doing very well at about 108%. The second 95%, that is those who are found positive to be put on treatment, is also at about This one is not appearing, but viral coverage is about 89%, and viral suppression in total for the clients in this hub is about 99%. So these are some of the numbers. If you look, I don't know if you can see, these are the facilities, SDA Butch. Actually, they are called SDA Butch. The Ministry of Health, when they capture data, they refer to them as SDA Butchi, SDA Chamboli, and all the way. These are the ones who are just falling under the Kitwe hub for the JSI. So you can see in total there, we've seen about 73,000 just from Kitwe hub. How many positivities have we had from these 73,000? We're talking about 7,800 people that have been found positive while they are coming to the facilities that are located on our church premises. And how many have been started on ART, new clients, TX new? We've had about 8,500 clients that have started their ARVs from a facility under the church premises. And this has been the follow-up. The yield, as you can see, is about 11%, which really marries with the prevalence of HIV in the northern part of Zambia. And then, to make these clinics robust, when I talk of numbers of 100,000, these are just HIV. To make them easy to access, we've made these clinics open for any ailment so that they are not stigmatized. So we provide simple tests of under 5, and maternity, mother and child care, your simple malaria test, your simple flu, but as soon as they think you are too sick, they'll quickly refer you to the next facility. So because of that, we've seen much more. The numbers I'm presenting are just HIV strictly, because these clinics were strictly put there for HIV, but they are masked or bracketed with the others so that everyone is free to come there without feeling that they'll be found out. So reproductive health, as you can see, these are some of the numbers. During antenatal, we've had 208 unknown antenatal patients, and those that have been started on ART, 59, the new ones. Those who have been found, many of us who are in the medical profession will know that day one, a mother goes to antenatal, they are tested, but then it's advised that you still do subsequent tests. And we've had one client who was found HIV positive after having been negative on the first test. So you can see that we've had a lot of numbers and attending to antenatal clients in these clinics. So groups, this again is just showing how the aggregated totals of viral load coverage and suppression. So on average, our viral load suppression in these facilities, coverage is at 9%, and viral load suppression is at 99%. Meaning that probably we are doing something good, because those who are on ART are adhering, and suppression is very good. Maybe because we are a church, maybe we find a better way of talking to them, I don't know, but some good things are happening. Yeah, so not to take too much of your time, again, this is other details for the reproductive health. So these are just to show you how they look like. This is Dr. Sikwa in one of their facilities. I want to indicate to you that the man carrying a baby, though the baby was quite inactive, very sleepy at that point, that is our local pastor, who is very, very much involved. And if you can see, I don't know if you're able to read, their Ministry of Health, USA Discover Health Project, Shivolia SDA Clinic. Behind there is a clinic, is our church. Not state of the art, but this area, despite looking maybe a bit run down, is a source of a lot of help for the community. Let me tell a story on this particular slide. You can see behind there's a tank stand. What happened is that the political leadership realized how much this particular site was doing to the community in providing this care. And what they did is, using the CDF, they came and put up a borehole, and a tank stand. Now the church, that's where people go to draw water, and they go to draw their ARVs, and and it's in the same premises. And if you're going to define a center of hope, I don't think it goes beyond that. And I think that's some of the achievements that have taken place. So this is the same place. Now we try to crowd it. So behind where the people are standing, that's where the church is. And on the far right, that is the clinic where these services are taking place. This is another site in Ndola. This is what I meant when I said the numbers I presented are not exhaustive, because this particular site is not included in those numbers. This one, allow me to tell a story, if I can, maybe in the presence of Dr. Landless. Yes, he's working, but I know he can hear. This particular site may be closed because we don't have a solid structure. Up to now, we are using tents, but it has over 1,000 HIV positive patients that are depending on this. Now, here's the question. Imagine we close it. And what it means, we say, all of you, the 1,000 of you, go to the other clinics, sort yourselves out. Chances are that majority of those stopping taking ARVs is high. Having their virus suppression that was doing fine becoming, confused is high. And them transmitting to the next patient or next candidate is again high. Question is, can the church come on board and maybe put up something small? Because Ministry of Health, if something is there that is safe for someone to work in, they would easily allow us to continue, because they'll bring in a clinic officer, they'll bring in a nurse, they'll bring in the amenities. All we need to do is be there and be able to work with these people. So this is the same place. So this is the same place where we went. On this particular day, we found an antenatal clinic happening with a lot of women going on there. This is another site we visited with Dr. Sikwa. It is in Kitwe. I think on that day we went to 3 clinics. I want to tell you something about this. This is how it looks now. But before USAID put up a prefab, we were using the pastor's vestry. So that was us. USAID during the week, Monday to Friday, 12 hours. It's a clinic. And people are walking in to get their ARVs, get their bloods, get their, results. Sabbath, Friday afternoon, they close up everything. And Sabbath, it's used for Sabbath worship. Monday, despite its not so well-looking state, we think that, but then later on, we were lucky enough that USAID came on board. Just watch this one, so that you just have an appreciation of the place where that's a church, and that's the prefab that JSI put up, and they'll be going very soon, and it's you and me. Dr. Landless said, who is the church? It's me and everyone else, to see to it that this service continues in this community. This is a community that is very needy, that even just the availability of water is a big thing. So just being able to provide a bit of this becomes very, very crucial for them. So, as you look at this, as it's going around, don't mind the cameramanship. Don't judge. It was done in good faith. So this is the inside with the triage, with the family planning rules there. Well-spaced, well-aerated. Operating room, they do circumcision, male circumcision there. And there's also cervical cancer screening services, full both screening and treatment in the same area. And then there's pharmacy, and then there's counseling. And all that this is waiting for is for us to, continue. This is Buchi, and this is the end. I would like to appreciate USAID and PEPFAR. They are the owners of the information. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think for those reports, we really appreciate that. That's the best practice in ECD SID and what. Now I will call Dr. Zeno Charles Marcel, the Associate Director, Adventist AIDS Ministry at the General Conference. He will be the moderator for the panel discussion. We'll be having the support on support groups. Dr. Zeno Charles Marcel. Okay, members, it's me, Pastor Chizitu from Uganda, and okay, what? No. Oh, Kodas. What else? And from Zimbabwe, who's? Okay, Mrs. Sibanda, please.
Perhaps it'll be good for us to stand and stretch. How about that? Okay, nice, good. Stretch up. You can go on your tiptoes if you can. All right. You're part of the panel. Okay, good. Okay, we can take our seats.
Please sit down. You can sit down now, please.
Okay. It is incumbent upon us to talk about support groups. Okay? And we've heard some very interesting presentations so far and reports. I have some questions here that hopefully we'll get through most of them as we ask each of our panelists to weigh in. Thank you. Now, what's interesting is that different people, different groups have variations in the definition of what a support group is. Can you, then we'll go down the list, can you briefly explain what a support group is supposed to be in your context? Mike?
Thank you very much. When you look at HIV and what we've all learned today and what we've learned so far with stigma, when it comes to education, when it comes to awareness, you would realize that if you want a support group, then you want to look at a multidisciplinary approach. So you want people who are positive themselves so that they can be as an example and support them. You would want people from mental health background who would provide counseling. You would want people from health terms of nutrition, who will be able to provide education on nutrition, lifestyle modification, and others. So when you talk about support group, then you actually want to look at a multidisciplinary approach.
Okay, so you're, in your context, you're looking at it more as a professional group that is supporting people.
Yes, you will need a professional group, also people from the community, and people living with HIV themselves, who also act as models for those who are newly tested positive.
Okay.
Thank you so much. I'll take it to talk about people who come together because they have a same problem, because they want to support each other, generally to motivate each other. After maybe being identified or appreciating what others are already doing, maybe in our case we are looking at AAIM, and we talk of support group as that group of people who have been tested and they know their status, and they come together at least to acknowledge and support one another in the, maybe to encourage others to go for treatment, to encourage others to continue, because being tested and testing positive does not mean that's the end of the world. So in my context is those that appreciate they have a challenge and will come together for one another.
Okay, so in your context, you're looking at people with a similar kind of problem, right? In this case, they're tested positive, and it's not necessarily a professional group, it's just the people themselves who are working together to try to support one another.
Yes, because when I would take it professionally, then maybe it could leave other members of the community who are not in that level.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. I would not differ so much from the sister, but I would look at the support group as a group of people who come together because they see the need. Hello? Yeah, a group of people that come together because they see the need to provide, to share, to fellowship, to provide the needed support for the people. They could be a cross-section of elderly, young. It could be a group of specifically younger people. It could be elderly people, but who see the need to come together, either to support themselves or to support others who may need a support or need. A support that other people may be able to provide.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dr. Fisaha.
Well, in some areas, it depends also the need. They have a common need, a common problem. They have to come with a common solution. Like the Alcoholic Anonymous, they have a problem. So they have to sort out. They have to find a time to sit together and talk, share the problem, come up with a solution. It could be individual, it could be a church-based, it could be also hospital-based.
So you're looking at this more as support with a particular objective. There's an objective in mind that people are looking towards. Well, some of the support groups dealing with patients or people with HIV, whether infected or affected, we have talked about the issue of the young people being specifically a target for prevention. How can we, in a support group context, reach the young people? Any strategies that you've had in your areas to reach the young people with this?
Okay, so in my facility, for example, we have a support group. We call them Hope for Future Generations. These are adolescents and young adults who are positive themselves. and they have gone through counseling, training, and education, and they have offered themselves as an example. So they are on their ART medications, they have achieved various suppressions, they look well, and they are healthy. And so when we get positive cases from these young adults and adolescents, then we bring them to also offer counseling, to tell them their story, how they became infected, and how they got diagnosed, and how they've been on treatment, and how they are feeling now. And so when they see them looking healthy, performing their functions, going to school, playing football, doing everything just like normal children, then they realize that indeed there is hope. And so they also want to take their medication and be healthy and just go about to their normal life as any other child.
Okay. Have you seen similar outcomes in your context with young people in support groups?
Maybe from my experience, I will maybe mention the need to collaborate as departments and then address or get to the young people from where they are, understanding the background that they operate in. Because if you just get to them and then want to put them in whatever existing support groups are, it could be a challenge. So allow them also maybe to work as young people, so that at least they are open, they are free to share what they have. And then from that position, they need to appreciate that there are also some other people within the system, maybe of the church, where we have other people who are part of the support group, but at least allow them freedom to operate the way they understand better. I think it will assist us to work with them.
All right.
Yeah, basically I think first of all is utilizing the existing structures. That is, already we have the youth ministry, and as we had heard from the presentations here, they have those structures. So we're sharing to show them the need, the benefit of having these groups, so they'd be able to discuss and then find out. But at our place where at the headquarters of our church, where our offices are, we have a clinic, and the in charge is here. We have a youth support, kind of a youth support group, a youth-friendly center, and it's mainly run by the youth themselves, and getting the youth from the community, together the youth from the church. And they come, they utilize the yard of the church at the headquarters of the church of the Seventh-day. But it is being led by the youth themselves. So one, we need to identify the structures which they respect, but also look around all these, from these other youth-friendly centers, how they operate, so they'll be able to support themselves.
Okay. Now there must have been some kind of catalyst to bring about that group. Dr. Fisaha, what kind of catalyst stimulated? Were people in your context involved in Youth Alive or something like that that stimulated the support group for the youth?
Yes, in one of our unions, the ECD, they have what we call it a group, a football club group, and they also attend the same church, and they have, when they do exercise or have funds, they do it together and discuss, and they review what happened today, what they had a weakness and strengths. So they find out, they support each other and discuss with them.
All right. Now one of the outcomes that we were mentioning was actually to help people, and in this case, let's talk about the youth, to get tested and maybe even change their attitude towards HIV/AIDS. Have you seen that in real life? That other people are saying, okay, I see what's going on here, I'm going to go and get tested, I'm going to make sure that everything is on the up and up. Have you seen that already?
Thank you for that.
No, that's gone too? There you are.
Maybe from my end, I will talk of the influence of peer educators, where you find that there are some youth working with other organizations. For example, we have the young men or other organizations within the system where young people have been trained as peer educators. These have an influence of identifying some other youths that they know, where they get for health centers when they have their lessons, and then it's easy for them to identify each other and then maybe identify even the churches where they come from. And those ones will assist in linking up with the existing support groups in their churches. So I found that working in our territory.
Yeah. For instance, that youth-friendly center that we have at our headquarters, I've seen once in a while these younger people come and play around the games using the yard of the headquarters of the church. And then you find other youths in the community, try to find out why these young people are here, and little by little they come and they join. And then also they have a network themselves as younger people on how they go in the community and share what they are having at the friendly center. So yes, only you find that maybe the youth in the church are kind of shying away. It's mainly attracting the youth in the community. So yes, when they see what is happening, they inquire from others, and then little by little they come and join.
So what you're saying is that the support group that may have started within the church context has now spilled over into the community, and community youth are being involved.
It's mainly embraced by the community, and even on the committee, I see they have one of the counselors of the council of the youth of the parish. She's part of the team that is running this program. And that one helps in mobilizing the youth in the community to come and get the services. So once in a while, the counselors and the health the health workers go in the community. They work with the community leaders and they share the information within the community around.
All right, so that may even suggest that some of your support groups work in conjunction with some government programs maybe, and things like that. Dr. Pisaha, any insight into that?
Yes, we do have some unions, they work with the government, either programs, projects, or other schools. So they have communication, they meet, they discuss, and they go where to go and do some even trainings. And
okay. Now in some contexts, the idea of transgenerational or intergenerational support, that is, young people and middle-aged people and more elderly people working together seem to have some benefit. Have you noticed anything like that being possible, and if possible, has it shown any benefit?
Okay. So we also have a system where we have what we call the school health. So our hospital is in the community, and we take care of about 5 schools, secondary schools, and then primary schools. And so we provide health education and health promotion. And also we organize blood donation. And so when we go, we do this education, and then we have slogans like, know your status, stay healthy, save life, and save yourself. So if before you can donate blood, you have to test. So we do this project with them, and then we realize that after a period of time, the students and the people, they have become very enthusiastic. And so they even come to the hospital to test themselves because they want to know their status, so that if they want to donate blood, is possible for them. And then we've seen a lot of improvement of the youth coming forward to test on their own. And then also with regards to the transgenerational working together, also we see a lot of benefits. Mostly if you take those youth who have been diagnosed, who are on their medication, and they have transitioned from, let's say, from secondary school to the university, and then they come back to the primary schools or go back to their secondary schools, and then they speak to them that this is where I started from, this is where I am now. Then they can look at them and then know that if I take my medication, if I test it, if I know my status, then something right can be done. I can also get there.
How does this work with regard to stigma? I'll come back to that question. Go ahead, you had something to say, Pesa.
We have, when we are organizing the people living with HIV/AIDS in some of the churches, we have been assisting them to buy to baking breads and doing sewing, stitching clothes, preparing clothes for them. But sometimes the mothers, they come with the children. So the mothers, they're together, but the children also, they meet each other. Initially they are shy, but later on they become also friends. So that's a transgenerational. But the children also, they know each other now, they support each other, and the mothers support each other. So that continues, the support continues.
Okay, yes.
Yeah, what we have seen in most of these the friendly kind of, which target the younger people, sometimes they want the younger people to have to be alone. Because sometimes they don't want to share their things when the elderly people are there.
Right.
So usually, one time I took one of my maid. She saw she was having some, so I went with her. But when I reached there, they worked on me very fast. And then when I asked the doctor, why are you because I came, he said, we don't want elderly people here. These younger people want to be alone. So at our center, it's kind of inside. When they come, no one can recognize what they are coming for.
Okay.
It's only when they are praying out in the yard. But for their services, they are kind of exclusive because they want to be alone. They don't want elderly people. However, in some of the programs we do trying addressing issues to do with the conflict between generations, and then violence against women and girls, and then leading to gender-based violence. We try to address the conflict between generations, especially between the father and the son, such that they can be able to become a bit, so that they don't cause conflict which affects women and girls in their homes and also in their communities.
Okay. Well, you know, the dynamics of any support group can vary depending on who is there. Have you noticed any downside to some of the support groups that you have been involved in? For instance, a person who dominates the whole thing.
Okay. So not maybe necessarily the way you put it, but for example, if you have a target group, let's say looking at maternal health, so we try to get a support group for the pregnant women to come out for testing, accept testing, and also to take their medication. So what we did was that we have a group called Mentor Mothers. So in this group, we have mothers who knew their status before they got pregnant and who were taking their ART medications, and they have given birth, their children are negative. And we have also mothers who didn't know their status and they were not on any ARTs, and they've given birth and their children are positive. And we also have mothers who came to clinic, they didn't know their status, but they tested positive at the initial stages of their pregnancy, and we enrolled them on ART treatment, who have also given birth and their children are also tested negative. So we have these three sets of groups. And then they call them mentor mothers. So now they work with us at our ANC clinic. And so if they even do some of the education, we're taking them through training and all that. And so they do some of the education, some of the health promotion. And when they are doing the counseling, sometimes we even let them do some of the counseling, and then we test them. And after testing, they support these mothers to get the help that they need. They visit them at their homes, they send their medications to them wherever they want to pick it, and then we've seen the positive side. We also realize that when you have specific groups like that, it has a huge impact. Rather than maybe ordinary people who have never been pregnant and then bringing them on board, we see that there's more benefit when the group is targeted, because they see themselves as one of them. And they have also seen the actual results of a mother who has taken their medication and they've been able to have a child who is HIV negative.
Well, we don't have any more time, but just your last comment, and then we'll end.
Maybe my last comment will be not dominating to show that they have the power, but for me, domination will be that people know their status at different levels in life in their journeys. But for those that have come out to tell the world that they are HIV positive, will be motivating those that are new in the field.
Diagnosis.
So as a result, those that have already known their status will be encouraging those that are new. Maybe that will be the domination. But what I've seen for those support groups that operate in the institutions, for example, the clinics, where we have one support group, where we have people who meet quarterly and the clinics afford them space to meet. We've had those that are new, especially the pregnant mothers, where they are able to get support from the institution. And as a result, those that have come out to tell them their status will always influence them, not dominating.
All right.
Thank you.
So, last question, one word answer, right? Would you recommend to this august body here that they invest some time in developing support groups for HIV/AIDS? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
Very much so.
Yes.
Okay. The yeses have it. Okay.
Thank you.
Before we go, this is the last for this afternoon. For this afternoon. But after supper, we have to come back for the evening devotional at 7:30. Now it's 6:30. We just give you 1 hour. By 7:30, we should be here. And then I'll ask maybe Pastor Chizu to pray for us.
Shall we pray? Our dear God, we want to thank you so much because you've been with us since morning up to now. We thank you for all edifying information and knowledge that we have acquired today. Help us, Lord, to know especially how we can focus and help our younger people, your church, so that they can be able to survive through this onslaught of the evil one. Lord, we thank you so much for our facilitators and presenters. We pray that, Lord, you continue to be with us. Bless what we are going to eat this evening. We pray all this in the name of Jesus Christ, our Lord.
Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I wish you a good supper. So by 7:30, should be here for the evening devotion.
As we are going out, SID, you are being asked by your leaders, Pastor and Mrs. Papu would like to meet SID out here. Health Ministries directors, UNEN, come down this side and get your charge. In your t-shirts.